Yeah, good morning. Years ago, I used to work for a guy called Tony Wilson and Bob Coleman. They had companies like called one big company called Octopus Productions. They used to do all scenery sets and things like that. And they had a big building company as well. So I used to work with my mate Danny Williams, doing all the building and knocking down walls, digging out the gardens and things like that. And anyway, Tony Wilson, good looking guy, big guy, 17 stone. Yeah, he was going out with this woman called Jenny. She had a hairdresser shop in Bollabridge Road, where I met Christine, the girl that I married and had a couple of my kids. Yeah, Jenny was a really beautiful, tall, 5'11", big girl. Not big in like big, but big, like really big in the front, yeah, and really beautiful woman, so attractive. Personality was fantastic, and she was just beautiful, mate. She was just beautiful, and Tony deserved that because Tony was a nice guy. He'd give her everything she possibly wanted. They lived next to Kew Bridge, in these flats. These flats were nice, man, and the place was really plush. She kept it beautiful. Anyway, as years go on, I was fighting amateur boxing, and I was doing really well. I think it was about 1960s, 68, something like that, 68. I was about 17, 18, something like that, when I came with my YP. They gave me my job, and I used to sometimes go up to the Oxford Productions up there and work there as well. And a couple of times I worked out, they said, look, do you fancy doing a bit of labouring work? Go over to Helsinki, Finland. I said, yeah, I fancy that. So went over to Helsinki, Finland, had a fantastic time. Went over there with Tony and a few of my mates. We picked up loads of girls, and I met one called Catty. Catty, she was like a Norwegian girl, you know what I mean? Helsinki, ran that way. Finland, she was absolute blonde hair, stunning blue eyes. Yeah, she was nice. I was quite good myself, you know what I mean? But anyway, and one at copping hold of it, and really got to like her, you know what I mean? And Tony wasn't with no one. He was just working, and we was at this thing one day, doing the conference work, and I don't like people bullies. I can't stand a bully. People say I'm a bully. I'm not a bully. I can't stand bullies. Who do this and do that and push people about as such. Yeah. And Tony's a nice guy. Don't stand nothing to no one. Big. He ain't no fool, mate. But I don't like to see him push around my boss. And this guy pushing me about, and I said, "Leave it, mate." And he wasn't with us as such, but he was there doing the conference work, big conference work. He was there, yeah, and he was Helsinki, come from Helsinki, Finland, and bit of a leery guy, you know what I mean? And he started shouting his mouth at me, mate. So I'm only just telling this because Tony's my mate Tony Wilson. He's now in hospital. I didn't realise he was this old. He's 84, 85. I thought he was in his 70s, late 70s, but obviously so he isn't. But he's ill. He's just had a little stroke. So only one side on his right arm. So he said it ain't that bad. He's had a couple of heart attacks and all that. So, but he's saying that if it doesn't go too well, for them to don't resuscitate him. I went, you crazy? I went, you got kids. I said, you're a strong, powerful man, you know what I mean? Okay, you're 80 odd years of age, but you're still fit and strong, Tone. Don't give up, mate, you know what I mean? Life's not about giving up. You just got to keep going forward, you know what I mean? And he was telling me, telling me about the old times. And he got better memory than what I've got. I must have only punches to the head as I'm coming and going, yeah? And he was telling me about a time in Helsinki. He said, this guy got really leery. He said, you hit him so hard, Ray. He said, mate, he said, you knocked most of his teeth out, you know what I mean? He said, you hit him so hard. I said, I can't really remember that time. He said, yeah, man. He said, Ray, I've never hit anybody so hard as you. You hit really, really hard. But anyway, a bit of a boost up made me feel a bit good, you know what I mean? First thing in the morning. This is like this morning phone me. And then he was talking about they had a big do in the Octopus Productions, yeah, massive rugby do. As I said, Tony was a nice guy. Jenny, his girlfriend at that time, she was stunning, mate. She was, I'd say, stunning, tall, beautiful figure, great big bust, but absolutely stunning. Personality was just out of this world. You know, you got someone with piercing blue eyes and blonde hair. Just, I don't know, you know, where'd you find these sort of people from? You know, but he looked after you, yeah? And she was a person that talked to everybody, liked everybody, wasn't one of these people that just, like, thought she was too good, you know, and talked to everybody, so nice. Busy night there in the Octopus Productions, in his big yard in the factory, massive factory. In there's all machines in there. I mean, come on, they do scenery sets, so they've done it all scenery, done it really, really nice, yeah? So everybody's enjoying themselves. This guy comes in, right? He works, I don't know who he works for, he's a bit leery. He's one of these guys that thinks he's God's gift to women. Going around talking to all the birds, chatting them up, dancing with them and all that sort of thing, yeah? We all do the same thing, if we can get away with it, yeah? But don't stop. And all of a sudden he's going over to Jenny, my mate's woman, and he's giving her a bit of grief, yeah? So anyway, he's giving her a bit of grief, and because he's giving her a bit of grief, Bob Coleman, who can have a right fight, Bob Coleman, that owns the company, yeah? He's coming down and telling the guy to behave himself, because Bob's up in the office talking to some people about the company he's got, yeah? So he come down and told the guy to behave himself. The guy's got a bit leery with Bob, and Bob's walked up the stairs and gone back upstairs to the offices. And then Tony's there, her boyfriend. He's looking around, and his geezer's just taking the absolute piss. Honestly, he's taking the piss. So Tony walks up and he says to him, mate, do yourself a favour, behave yourself. He said, because you know, you're going a little bit too far now. The guy's walked away. Tony's a big guy, man. The guy's walked away, but he's not one of the guys. He's very inoffensive, you know what I mean? He's just a big guy. He can have it, mate, but he's so inoffensive, nice person. You've got to push for him to do anything, yeah? Anyway, Jenny's just nice, dancing about, but she's a big girl. She looks lovely, man. And this guy's on her case. In Oxford Productions, they've got these big machines, cutting machines for wood and all that, big lathes and all that. They got them out of the way, but they're still there, yeah? They're still there, but behind the scenery, behind the sets, and the sets are only like material, you know, film material. And he kept on and on and on, and he got to the stage that Jenny was really embarrassed, you know what I mean? She was trying to get away from the guy. You could see the guy was pissing her off, yeah? So I walked over to the guy and said, do yourself a favour, mate. Just get yourself your coat, your keys to your car, and piss off. I said, because you're causing problems, and it's a problem that people don't like in here, you know what I mean? We ain't into that. So he's getting all leery. I ain't going nowhere, all that. Posh. Not like a normal, like, posh. Big company, he had a company and everything. So I said, listen, mate, just do yourself a favour. Get your keys to the car, pick your jacket up with your overcoat off, and whatever you got, go in your car and go, mate. Piss off, yeah? We don't want you in here. You're causing too many problems. He threw a punch at me, mate. I mean, I was a little fighter, you know, boxer. You know what I mean? I've had a few amateur fights then. I've had about, 20 fights, amateurs? And he threw a punch at me, and I put it out there, and bang, mate, I've hit him. Listen to me. Tony Wilson, right, he was standing next door to Old Bill. There was a police officer there, big Old Bill, top one, Acton police station, top Old Bill. And I didn't know. I've hit this guy so hard, mate. I swear on my life. He flew through the scenery sets, hit his head on the lathe, right? Boom, knocked him spark out. Now we're all panicking. Now he's hit his head on the lathe, he's bleeding. You think he's going to die, he's dead. You know, he sparked out. He's out for what, 30, 40 seconds, mate. And there's blood coming out of his ears. I thought, oh, what have I done? And anyway, Tony walks over to this guy. He sort of like sits him up on a chair. The guy wakes up. The guy's in a bad way. They call an ambulance and take him away. So the old Bill comes up to Tony and Bob, says, listen, what I'm told now was Tony telling me. He said, let me tell you something, this guy can hit. Who is he? He said, oh, this guy. He said, this guy knew, the guy that he had to go, yeah? He was causing me problems, he had to go. Who's this guy? And he said, it's a guy that works for me. He said, what's his name? So he said, well, look, is he in trouble? He said, no, this one, like, you know. He said his name's Ray Hill. And anyway, night goes on. He comes over to Tony and he said, listen, he said, do yourself a favour, tell this Ray Hill to behave himself, yeah? He's a target at the moment. A target? Being told that I'm a target. Yeah, fucking hell, you know what I mean? So when they come up and told me Tony, now has recently told me that I'm a target, shit myself, you know what I mean? Then. You know, then, not now, not then, this was then. Fucking target, mate, you know what I mean? So they wanted me anyway, they were looking at me anyway. To do that, the old Bill didn't. I mean, fair play to the old Bill. He never caused me no problems as such, you know what I mean? Or he just said that to Tony, he said, this geezer can really paint. This geezer can really have a row, you know what I mean? He's a bit over the top, but let me tell you something. Tell him, Mighty Sky, that he's a target. They're watching him, yeah? And I wasn't active as such, but I was hanging around with the wrong people, you know what I mean? Anyway, I wound up going off. Tony Wilson didn't tell me then, never told me nothing, he only told me now, yeah? He should have told me then, you know? And anyway, later on in my life, like now, he's told me, anyway, he says, look, I've got to go because someone's knocking at my door. This is Bang Bang Ray Hill. Please press the like button and subscribe. But it goes on a little bit. I want to work for Danny, and so much goes on with me working for the Octopus Productions. Anyway, I've got to go anyway. It's Bang Bang Ray Hill. Please press the like button and subscribe. Bye.